broadcasting to viewers in Liberia and across the globe. Hello and welcome to News Today on KMTV. With me, I'm Kokoi. Wherever you're watching us from, we say thanks for joining our news broadcast tonight. We sincerely apologize for coming on a bit late. Let's take a look at stories making the headlines. Political tension is said to be breeding among members of the collaborating political parties as Henry Costa files back as Yeka following his suspension from the party. Government's Interministerial Task Force on SGBV presented a document that's a roadmap document to President George Weah to tackle SGBV cases in the country. These plus many more developments all coming up right after this break. Many thanks for being there. We begin the program at the Female Journalists Association, where the EU and UN Spotlight Initiative has completed a 2-day gender desk coordinators training for desk editors in Monrovia. The training, which was implemented by the Female Journalists Association of Liberia, is aimed at empowering desk editors to coordinate various newsrooms across the country to adequately flag women issues and promote gender-sensitive reporting across Liberia. Seattle Scott Johnson is the president of FIJA.
The intent of the gender desk is to train reporters to be able to coordinate between the media institution and GBV actors. GBV actors, we mean people that are in the sector that are working with gender-based violence, human rights defenders, human rights advocates, women organizations, so different people that are responsible to push women human rights issues. So we call those people GBV actors. So we want the media institution to be able to flag GBV issue. And the only way they say they can do that is to be able to have reporters that will link them to the GBV actors. I think it will make a lot of difference. One of the major differences that we will see is that we will get to see women's stories not reported as breaking news. Because we always told journalists that women issues are not breaking news issues. Women issues are issues that you have to go beyond, that you have to dig deeper, you have to investigate. You are not coming, it doesn't come as a news flash. Even though sometimes you flash it as a news flash, but you need to go further than just a news flash. So we see a different angle of women issues being reported in the news because we have people that we're working with specifically.
Despite negative perceptions that Liberian-owned businesses are not tax-friendly, a popular car dealer based in Monrovia has sharply debunked the claims, noting that Liberian-owned businesses are usually strangulated by banks and loaners. KMTV's Emmanuel Tatumukoli files in this report.
Dominic Nimble, the national chairman of the Patriotic Entrepreneurs of Liberia, has voiced out that over the years, Liberian-owned businesses have been used as a case study, making it even more difficult for them to get access to loan and other aids to better their own businesses.
We Liberian-owned businesses are being used as case studies out there, in the sense that when Liberian-owned businesses go to bank for loans, letter of credit, to procure some deals, we're being turned down. We're being noted out there in the red flags category that we don't pay bank loans.
The party president stressed that for too long, foreign businesses have enjoyed more privileges and rights as compared to Liberian-owned businesses. He believes that for Liberian businesses to be on par with other businesses in the region, government needs to do more in prioritizing local businesses in the country.
Foreign businesses, business owners that come to our country as invested. Investor in my own little man world is somebody who comes with money to invest in your country, not to go after your local bank loans. But in Liberia, it's on the opposite direction. Investors go after our local bank loans and they get a huge part of it with or easy situation, which of course is like getting water from the refrigerator or getting water from the ice bath, like the local librarian want to say. Is that easy for them?
He wants government to heavily invest in the agricultural and tourism sectors if the economy of the country is to be resuscitated. Mr. Nimle, who is also a car dealer, also named tax reduction on goods coming to the country as some of the serious ways to booming Liberia's economy.
We have to go to the source. We have to go to the source. Agriculture is one of the ways that can deliver Liberia from what we're going through. 2, tourism. Liberia have the best lakes in the world. Liberia have the best beaches in the world. The government need to put money into tourism. The government need to reduce taxes. We know that the government have no means. I'm not saying you should raise taxes 0, but you need to reduce taxes in order to attract investors. I'm speaking as a patriotic citizen of this country. I'm speaking as an entrepreneur. I'm speaking as a born Liberian. If the government cannot reduce taxes to attract investors into this country, the government will have more to lose on a daily basis.
Namely blamed Liberia's problems to hate, jealousy, and the legislature for not enacting laws to benefit Liberian-owned businesses.
For me, I wouldn't bring the president. The president is just one voice. I would bring the legislature. It happened during Manasari time. Every time Manasari called the legislature on her farm, she didn't know the reason to go there for. All of the AS people seeing today, they didn't see her yesterday. Were they blind? Were they blind? Today, everybody is politician. We're going out there saying negative things about this country every day. Our brothers and sisters are in the diaspora, all of them using the internet to degrade our country. And we're crying there is no investor coming. If the investor seeing you putting a lot of negativities of your country out there, you think he want to invest his money in Liberia? We protest every day. You think he want to invest his money in Liberia? We don't even local businesses. We don't make money. We don't make money. How will we make money? Everybody afraid. A lot of people buying homes in Sierra Leone. Some people migrating to Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Ghana to make businesses. Most of the foreign businesses migrating. We're losing revenue to Guinea. You know, most of the Liberian import goods and carry their goods to Guinea before they drive here by road to enter in Liberia. Because what? Because the tariffs at Freeport is so high.
Nimle said though Liberian-owned businesses are being strangulated by government with pretense, he wants Liberian-owned businesses to be robust and roll up their sleeves, latching at foreign businesses.
I would like to say to Liberian-owned businesses that you guys are strong people. You keep the courage. Nobody should call you a criminal. If we are criminal, they make us to be criminal. We are not criminal, and those are called criminal, they should leave our country. And to the foreigners, the Filipinos, the Lebanese, the Indians, the Chinese are taking our jobs. Y'all get ready for us. We're not bringing xenophobia, but we'll bring more than xenophobia. I can show you. To the legislature, get ready for me. Y'all get ready for Liberian. We will surround you in there and make sure you undo all of those things that is not in the interest of Liberian.
Despite all learning these challenges, Mr. Nimle believes that by allotting US $500 million annually to Liberian-owned businesses, it will help address some of the difficulties the sector is faced with. Emmanuel Tato Monkoli, KMTV News, Monrovia.
Many thanks to our reporter Emmanuel Tato Monkoli for that report. Let's now move over to the government, where the government of Liberia subcommittee on gender-based violence has submitted a roadmap document to President George Weah to tackle, that's to take further steps that will be taken in mitigating the spread of rape and other sexual and gender-based violence in the country. The roadmap document calls for hands on decks to make Liberia free of high rate of rape cases. KMTV's Zach Sherman has more.
This after over thousands of Liberians took the streets across the country protesting against rape and all sexual gender-based violence against women, girls and boys. The government of Liberia has constituted a subcommittee on sexual and gender-based violence with President George Weah, thus formulating a roadmap document.
To present findings, then the profile ideas the way forward. There's a serious issues here on rape that we have zero tolerance. We must address the rape issues.
The meeting brought together the President and his cabinet to include General Minister Wilhelmina Tabs Piso Sigita.
While this roadmap aspires to guide future investments on addressing rape and other forms of sexual and gender-based violence by 2022, it will prioritize the approaches and activities as well as provide a transparent and strategic framework to inform key decision-making on addressing the increase of rape cases and other forms of violence in Liberia.
The Minister of Health, Wilhelmina Jalal, assured Liberians of a comprehensive and scientific handling of rape issues in the country.
We have to apprehend the perpetrator first, be able to collect the evidence clean to match the evidence to the perpetrator.
For its part, the prosecuting arm of the government through the Minister of Justice has disclosed plans for the expansion of courts in adjudicating rape and other gender-based violence cases.
We are exploring means of extending them first to populated counties like Magidi, like Lopa, like Brambasa. We want to say that we are serious about the fight against rape.
Internal Affairs Minister Van Salif re-echoed warning against traditional elders and chiefs who usually handle rape cases.
No chief is authorized to look into or try any rape case because it is criminal in nature or it borders around human rights.
According to Information Minister Len Eugene Nambit, holistic approach is a best way forward.
For us to deal with this societal menace, it has to be a holistic approach.
With the formulation of roadmap, which calls for all hands on deck, more is now expected that sexual and gender-based violence will be curtailed in Liberia. From the Executive Mansion, this is Zach Totiama Sherman reporting for KMTV News.
We're still talking about rape issues. An organization, Inspiring Children's Dreams Incorporated, is expected to hold an online dialogue conference relative to discuss issues surrounding rape and other SGBV cases in Liberia. Well, we are now joined live on the line from China by the Executive Director of Inspiring Children's Dream Incorporated, Luke Crow, who will provide detail on the upcoming online conference or dialogue relative to rape issues and other SGBV problems in Liberia. Good evening, Luke. Welcome to KMTV News.
Good evening, KMTV. I'm privileged to be in this job this evening.
Now, tell us about your upcoming online conference relative to discussing issues on how we can all fight in the fight against rape in Liberia.
The issue of rape in Liberia, it is not new. It is an age-old problem. But in recent times, it has drawn the attention of everyone, the entire country, given the case of almost 1,000 cases of rape in just 7 months. It speaks volume to how our country has come thus far with the fight against rape. It shows that we are not doing anything much to tackle the problem. But the Inspiring Children's Dream Ministry owns one of its pillars to advocate for the rights of women and children, have come in solidarity with many of those.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of many of those cases in the country. So we have come in solidarity with civil society organizations, activists, pressure groups, and even the government calling an end to the rape. Like many have said before we fight rape, we must dig very deeper. We should go beyond the non-traditional method of activism, where we just speak on the radio or where we go and protest. But this time, we should go all hands on deck. We should try by all means. The point are finding the root cause of rape in the country. So it is very, very much important. So it is based on this, the Inspiring Children Dreams Ministry Incorporated is coming up with a online webinar slated for Wednesday, September 2 at 10 a.m.
Now, talking about this online program, I mean, what's the essence of it, and what do you hope to achieve by the end of this conference in the fight against rape in Liberia?
Normally, the goal for our country, for the prevention of rape, is to stop it from happening in the first place.
Okay.
Even though the solution to finding those problems is as much complicated as the problem itself, but preventing rape requires finding those factors responsible for it at the social ecology level, like individual level or interrelational level, community level, and on the higher scene, the societal level. So find that response, that emergency response to end rape is very, very much important. It is cardinal. So it is based on this we are coming up with this program that we will fund, that we will ascertain like those different civil society organizations, representatives coming, pressure group coming together. So we want to come up with different ideas, different strategies and approaches that will tackle this problem from the very onset. So preventing sexual violence requires addressing the factors like I said. So to have that greatest impact on sexual violence prevention, we must take advantage of the best available evidence and focus on strategies and approaches most likely to impact that particular violence. For example, if we had many cases alluded to children selling in the street and being harassed and raped or molested, what then can we do? Should we promote social norms uh, that protect against sexual violence? Yes, if we want to do that, what approach can we employ to go about achieving this? Okay, can we go about mobilizing men and boys in the community to serve as our allies? Yes, we can. Can we mobilize the bystander also? Those guys that also stand on standby or on the road and other stuff. Can we start to engage them? Can our activism go that route? I think it is very much important to take the activists, the activism, and all those advocates to another level, not just standing on Facebook, not just holding placards when situation gets hurt and hold the placard. But we should be able to take drastic action at this particular moment. We should dig very deeper, find the source of the problem, and we'll be able to solve it. Because from time immemorial, this is not just happening today. The number of cases of rape are increased from 700 to 800 to 1,000, almost 1,000 now. So it has been the same problem over and over again, and we are just keep doing the same thing, holding the placards and not solving the problem. So in addition to holding placards, protesting, we must be able to get to the community where the problem is happening. We must get to where the problem is coming from to be able to address the issue.
Now, finally, before we can take leave of you, who are some of those discussions that will be part of the online program?
Like I said, we have different group of people, representatives from women of substance, Liberia, Sexual and Gender Awareness Movement, the Alliance for Gender Justice and Human Rights, Group for Change, and many other more, both in Liberia and the diaspora. And we have different participants coming. And it is our hope through the end participants will serve as messengers of the answer or rape campaign in the country so that we all can try to get rid of this dirty problem always in our country.
Many thanks to you, Mr. Kra, for joining us on KMTV News today.
Thank you very much.
Well, if you just joined, you're watching News Today on news presentation of the News and Current Affairs Department of the Creative Mind Television. It's now time that we take our break, but here's what's still ahead of us. Political tension is said to be breeding among members of the collaborating political parties as Henry Costa fires back at Yeke Kolba following his suspension from the CPP. Many thanks for staying with us. Political tension is said to be breeding among members of the collaborating political parties. Evidenced by such is the abrupt departure for time indefinite the membership of Representative Yeke Kolba, one of the strong voices of the party. Representative Kolba, during his press conference, cited lack of communication and disunity among officials of the CPP as factors behind his suspension. But his comments did not go unnoticed by Chairman of the Council of Patriots, Henry Costa, who termed as ungrateful and deceitful Representative Yeke Kolba comments against the CPP.
My left cannot be threatened. Nothing is being done. Nothing is being heard. I wrote the Justice Ministry. Nothing is being done. I got recalling. Like Keita said, he and his men, that plateau. The recalling is here. I will share with you people that they will get after me until they get rid of me. I got a recalling. And the recalling is with Justice Ministry. Nothing has been done. Where is the CPP? Where is the CPP? This is not a threat. I am not nobody. But I need to respect myself and respect my right. And respect the appreciation from the organization that I am a part of. Maybe I'm doing something that the CPP do not like. That is why I have been abandoned.
My boy, you let us Yeke man today. That's what I want to do. You let us Yeke today. What is Yeke crying for now? They're not supporting him. This is ingratitude. I want to address the Yeke issue today. So you can go talk whatever you want to talk, but we're going to address the Yeke issue today. Me, I've been fighting for Liberia before you, Yeke. I've been fighting since 2012. The government has put me in jail 2 times. Then I shut down my businesses. What did they not do to you compared to me? What you just begin representing the other day? Let's address the Yeke issue. So what did we do for Yeke now? My boy, please tell me. When Yeke get problem, we will make no. Oh Yeke, y'all leave Yeke alone. Y'all leave a man. Y'all leave a man. Yet the man say CPP ain't do nothing for him. COP ain't do nothing for him. Nothing.
Well, still with the CPP, the youth wing of the Council of Patriots has suspended its membership from the collaboration. Addressing the news conference in Monrovia, the chairman of the group, Ben Tobat, said the youth wing wants to stick to its objectives rather than being controlled by self-seeking politicians.
We have decided, as a movement, the youth wing of the Council of Patriots, going forward, to focus our attention on our role as a grassroots civil movement, to enslave ourselves to political opportunists. We are very clear about that. And in the coming days, we will announce our next plan of action. And our next plan of action will be done in the interest of our country. And we'll be visiting the 17th electoral district of Montserrat County to ensure that our people have the message. If this country must get better, all hands from all walks of life is needed on deck to make Liberia better. It's now time, fellow Liberians, whatever you are, no matter how you feel, the mouths you don't said, the terrible truth must be said. To our coordinator in the 17th electoral districts, our supporters in the 15th political subdivision of Liberia, We will be doing our district tour effective immediately tomorrow, reaching out to the 17 districts to put things in order for our next plan of action. And after doing that, we'll be moving to the 15th county. And whatever decision this movement would take in the coming days will change the political spectrum.
Over now to the coronavirus pandemic, Liberia's ambassador to the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico, George Patton, has been discharged from a hospital in Washington, D.C. following weeks of battling COVID-19 in the U.S. Ambassador Patton was tested positive for the virus on August 12th. According to a release, the ambassador has since recovered and is currently working from home. Let's now cross over to Maryland County, where the Harper Magisterial Court in Maryland County has sentenced an importer of narcotic substance in the county for 1 year imprisonment after he was found guilty for unlawful and illegal possession of drugs. To discuss this issue, we now have live on the line our Maryland County correspondent, Baron Diouf. Good evening, Baron.
Good evening. Thank you for having me on the news.
Now, tell us about the sentence of this drug dealer who was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment for illegal possession of narcotic drugs.
And of course, from all indications, on Friday of last week, the Harper Magisterial Court on the watchful eyes of Magistrate Dwayne Morgan sentenced to 1 year, 6 months imprisonment just imported and as well as a dealer in the county. According to what we gathered from the court section at the end of the day on Friday, we were told that this just user and dealer is normally involved with the issue of drugs business. And his name is Nelson P. Capet, age 47. And so he was tracked down by the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency on the watchful eyes of Special Agent Joseph Tajinde in Town community. With him being tracked down, he was then sent to the Harper Magisterial Court, where he was asked to respond to questions if the allegation leveled against him that he illegally possessed narcotic substances on that day was factual. So with all
How often does the Maryland County or the Harper Magisterial Court sentence people for such act in the county?
Unlike over the past, according to what we gathered from the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency Commander Joseph Tajinde, where at times you have other magistrates throwing the issue of drugs cases out of the court on grounds that, according to Special Agent Joseph Tajinde of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, at times they were informed, he as commander, that indeed there wasn't enough evidence directly from the LDA to who accountable those who were accused of illegally possessing narcotic substances. But of recent, they have turned to a different ball game where right now, as we speak, in less than 3 months, we have up to about 15 persons being sentenced at the Harper Central Prison for illegally possessing narcotic substances. So for all indications, it's now clear that the justice is being prevailed, and of course, the Harper Magisterial Court is doing all it can to make sure they eliminate drugs from Maryland County.
Now, tell us about citizens' reaction relative to the arrest and further sentencing of this guy who was caught by the DEA. How are residents or citizens in the county reacting to this news?
Residents of Town were joyously seen celebrating at the Harper Magisterial Court upon the sentencing of this 47-year-old man Nelson P. Tappe. They indicated that indeed they complained over and over to the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, something which prompted the agency to directly have Nelson arrested. So with him being sentenced now, they said they're going to serve as a deterrent to others who might want to go in the community and carry on similar acts of selling narcotic substances. So the LGA for the effort indicated that if the court system in the county can fully prevail on just use of those importing drugs in the county, definitely Maryland County will be just free.
Many thanks to you, Baron Dew, for filling us in from Maryland County.
Thank you for having me on the news.
He's Baron Dew, our Maryland County correspondent there, filling us in relative to a man who was sentenced to a year in prison for illegal possession of narcotic drugs. Well, from Maryland County, we now move over to Sano County, where a senatorial aspirant and the candidate of the CPP in Sano County, Madam Grace Scotland Brahman, has allegedly been attacked by the mayor of Greenville City, Otis Seaton. We are now joined live on the line by our Sano County correspondent, Mike Gray. Still trying to connect our Sano County correspondent, Mike Gray, relative to a news that a candidate of the CPP in Sano County has allegedly been attacked by the mayor of Sano County, that's Greenville City in Sano County. Unfortunately, we can't get our Sano County correspondent. Well, with that, that's how we come to the end of today's edition of KMTV News Today. But before going, here once again our stories that made the headlines. Political tension is said to be breeding among, National task force against SGBVs present a roadmap document to President George Weah in tackling SGBV cases in Liberia. And, political tension is said to be breeding amongst members of the collaborating political parties as Henry Costa fires back at Yeke Kolba, says he's been ungrateful and deceitful. We say many thanks to you for always joining our news broadcast from across the globe. On behalf of the entire news team here, my name is Anthony Kokoi. You have yourself a pleasant good night from Fongotan Baguio.